Hello, hello. On this wet Wednesday, we're whipping up some flapjacks, pancakes. What else would you call them? They're not waffles, but they're gonna be on the grill, on the pan, nice, warm, depending on where you are in the world. Here in the Sunshine State, it's sunny, it's nice outside. So maybe it's a flapjack day, maybe up on the pancakes. We're gonna add a little blueberries, which is optional, of course. Happy Wednesday to you all out there. What is today? Today's the 24th. I'm excited because this weekend is the beginning of my last level 2 for my Kundalini Yoga teacher certification. The level 2, there's 5 of them to go through, and this one is, the title is Authentic Relationships. And you know what's funny is we just came through this full moon in Libra, which is all about relationships. And most people would think that relationships are about you and another person. But you know, the most important relationship you could ever work to harvest, nurture, cultivate, sustain, and maintain is that relationship to yourself. You can't go outside yourself for what you have within you already. And a lot of addiction, a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety, a lot of our mental illnesses are because we're without the mental wellness, without this wellspring of self-love. We're constantly going to go without, reaching for things outside of ourselves to make ourselves feel better and soothe ourselves on the inside. But what's inside is the key to the healing and the nurturing and that deeper sense of self, that when you can relate to you, you can much easier, more easily, relate with others. When you cultivate and you learn compassion and patience and kindness for your own self, this inner dialogue, this monkey mind, your relationship to yourself is the most important relationship you'll ever have, because you're the one who has to live with you day in and day out. So you got to stop and drop all these preconceived ideas that relationship is about my significant other, my spouse, my mother, my father, my relationship to my cat, my dog, my friends. No, bring it home, baby. Gotta bring it home. Slap it on. You know, really be present with you. Get to know who you are. This is gonna be the key to fully embracing everything that you want, wish, and desire in this life, because you can't know what it is that is really desired by your heart and soul if you're constantly looking outside of yourself, bombarded by advertisements, bombarded by media. What you watch outside becomes that nurturing, that food that you nourish yourself with, good, bad, ugly, indifferent. So it's very key, again, when you start to notice, you go within, you start to notice the outside external influences that you've had in your life, whether it's starting out from your childhood, which are the most influential up until the age of 6 or 7, and they create our behaviors, our belief systems. It's where our most deeply seated traumas are started and created, whether we learned a self-sense of worth and value through the people we were around who coddled us or didn't. If we didn't have our basic human needs met during those primal, most, you're growing. If you don't have those needs met, love and connection, everybody needs to feel a sense of belonging. No rejection. Nobody wants to be rejected. Consistency. Look, somebody will show up when I need them. Inconsistency. Surprise! I can catch you off guard, but in a loving way, because surprises sometimes are what get us more excited about life. Then there's the 3. you have growth and you have spirituality or whatever it is that keeps you connected to the evolution and the growth of yourself. I'm forgetting one of them. But ultimately, all of these basic human needs, once those are met and we can really find out what it is that might have been lacking during those times in our lives, those formative years, then we can work on reparenting ourselves, that connection to that inner child. I'm not going to let you be left behind, be felt abandoned or rejected at any point. I'm here to take care of you. And that we can only do that for ourselves. And it may feel all weird and, airy-fairy to some people because, I was listening to something the other day and it said, when it feels uncomfortable and you feel embarrassed about it, it's because of the ego that's been conditioned. And ego's not a bad thing, by the way. It's how we observe and we can learn about ourselves once again. But when you feel you have some image to uphold that's incongruent with who you truly are, you're going to feel embarrassed because you've been taught to be strong. You're not supposed to cry. You're supposed to laugh in the face of adversity. You're supposed to suck it up, baby. So that's, it. And this is what I'm feeling today, that in addition to authentic relationships starting up, and I've been working on this whole self-love alchemization of my life for years. I truly believe that love in itself is the alchemist that transitions our life into everything we want, wish, and desire. And without working on ourselves, we're not going to be able to have any decent relationship with another person. The irony in all of this life is you can numb the pain, but you can't not numb the joy. So when you have pains and hurts and you say, oh, that doesn't matter, you're denying yourself. You're denying yourself for everything you've been through. You're denying your healing process along the way. You have to embrace it all and say, I love you whole. In all of your good, your bad, your ugly, your beautiful, your mistakes and your failures and your successes and your triumphs. I have to love myself even when I felt like I wasn't lovable by anybody else. Because if I don't love me, how can anybody else be expected to love me? And so if I had felt pain at some point in my life and I suppressed it, that's like a loss of self. Pushing away the pain pushes away the joy, pushes away all the most magnificent, miraculous things in your life, because you can't have one without the other. And if you've ever watched me, if you've been around with me for a while, I always talk about this pendulum. We live swinging from vine to vine, almost like Tarzan and Jane. We're swinging on this pendulum, we're either in one extreme or the other. And the only reason we notice the joy, the only reason we notice the pain, is because it's the opposite extreme of the other. But when you come to center and you accept them both equally, for as beneficial as they are for your life and your evolution and your growth, you're going to find they don't even exist separate, because they are one and the same. And that's the embracing. That's the accepting. It's like it dissolves all of it. Now, I can tell you intellectually that sounds so easy. I know that most people are like, yeah, whatever. It's all about application. Your personal experience is yours. And just like anything in life, you don't know unless you try. Don't ever poo-poo on what somebody tells you is their experience or a modality or an idea. If you don't know, you should try it for yourself. Just don't deny it because it doesn't sound aligned with your belief system. Because all that is really a rejection of something that could be an acceptance of yourself at the same time. And that's another thing. Whatever it is we reject in another person, we're rejecting and denying our own personal selves at the same time. If we can accept everyone and everything as well as how we are ourselves, that's a self-acceptance, because I see you as I am, and I see those aspects in you that maybe I do or don't accept in myself. And so when I embrace it in you, I embrace it in me. And then when I embrace it in me, I embrace it in you. So much more I could talk about, but we're going to move on to pancakes. And yeah, level 2, I'm so excited about this because I've been finding a much deeper connection to my own personal self and my relationship to me, that I've been humbled once again, as I always am, that there's always another layer of the onion to peel away. Go figure. That's how it is. So who's in the house? Hi, good morning, beautifuls. Hi, Nicole and Lisa and Cody and Carl and Rachel. All you beautiful souls, I love you so much. I'm so appreciative to each and every one of you when you show up. Make sure if you haven't already joined our RADiculously RawThentic group, you jump on over Ninja Flip and make sure that you introduce yourself as soon as you've been accepted. Remember, we have strict policy against any MLMs, and unfortunately there are no exceptions because this is for the protection of our members. That doesn't mean we love you any less. We love you all, complete and whole. So, blueberries, darling. And by the way, it's blueberry season. So Dad and I will be going blueberry picking soon. And if anybody's in the Florida area, close to Clearwater, let me know in the comments if you know of a good blueberry farm that you recommend going to, because we need to know. I know Dad was wanting to go to the same one we went to previously, but we're not sure which one it was. So I've turned the burner on. This is what we got. Couple things. If you're vegan, you don't do eggs, there's eggs in this. Here's a funny thing I was considering the other day, that I had this insight, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I'd love to know your comments and your views on this. If you're vegan, do you consider eggs vegan? Now, the thing that's interesting about eggs, and this is what I was reading up on, an egg is an unfertilized embryo. So technically, it's not really a life, but it's like a seed. This is how I read it. I'm not sure how I could interpret it. It's just an interesting thing to consider. It's going to be about relationship and how you relate to food and what have you. See, I believe that you should enjoy your food, chew with love and compassion and gratitude and appreciation and blessing everyone and everything that got it to you and you're putting in your mouth. It's not about what you eat, but if you bless it, you can increase the vibration. But if you're beating yourself up and saying to yourself, oh, I shouldn't be eating this, well, you might as well not be eating it. And self-shaming and self-deprecation and all that judgment, it ruins the whole experience and it creates a vicious cycle, because what you eat, the food you eat, it influences your mood, your food influences your mood, and then your mood will influence the food you reach for next. So you can perpetuate a cycle of poor eating behaviors, addictions, by our own self-sabotage, starting in the mind. There's the first relationship you got to work with. What does your mind talk to you about? How does it speak to you? You wouldn't speak to anybody else sometimes the way you criticize yourself. So we have Birch Benders, their Paleo pancake and waffle mix. I'm going to read the ingredients so that you can get an idea if this appeals to you. Cassava starch, organic coconut flour, almond flour, eggs, leavening, which is monocalcium phosphate, sodium bicarbonate, salt, and monk fruit. And there's some spice in here, monk fruit spice. And I've eaten these, I like them. You just add water. Who'd have thunk? So simple. Simple is good. And I really would like to hear what your thoughts are on the egg thing, because that's one that can make your mind go really cray-cray if you get fixated on what's right and wrong and that whole belief system that says, oh, that's not good, I can't do that. I mean, what is it that creates these belief systems in us? Why are we so attached to our ideas, our ideals? What if we're all wrong? What if it's all just a farce? What if you just saw everything as energy you're consuming? And then if you're seeing it as energy that you're consuming, again, it's like I said earlier, where if you look at your external environments, whatever you're focusing on, whether it's TV, advertising, it influences you, even if you don't think it does. Even if you think you're numb and you're not paying attention, it's subliminal, it's programming you, hence TV programs. It programs you. It's called the boob tube for a reason. So I mixed it up earlier in my really pretty flower bowl. Because it tells you to let it sit for a little bit. And then I've got the blueberries, which we're going to just dip them on in there. So these were frozen before. They're a little bit wet. I have not done it with the blueberries in them, so this will be interesting. I like a lot of blueberries when I do those. But you know, we got a ninja that we got to keep fed because he works really hard behind the scenes. I want to make sure it gets in his belly. And when I cook with love and I prepare my food with love, that's what it's all about. I want you to feel the nourishment, the love that comes through every bite. Blueberries, antioxidants, so good for you. I think the most important thing to remember, if you're judging others, and if anybody's ever judging you, bless them. Because if they're blessed, if they're turning around and they're judgmental with them, with you, imagine how much more judgmental they are with themselves in their own mind. That's what most people don't take into consideration. And they fail to recognize that other person has their own discomfort within that they're projecting and criticizing you because they themselves don't feel comfortable with what they're doing. And so they try to validate themselves through your behavior just as well. All right, we're going to put a little coconut oil on here. So these Birch Bender Pancakes, a micro pankery. I love that. That's actually on there. So I got this pan, and I actually got this at Aldi, and it has ceramic on it. I find that things don't stick to it like a regular, like cast iron, first off, won't stick to that. The stainless steel I love, but unfortunately it makes a huge mess and doesn't always come off properly. So we're going to do a couple pancakes side by side over here. We'll see how long it takes to cook these up. Every time I do this, it's always those first couple pancakes. I want to know, do y'all do that when you're making your pancakes? It takes you a couple pancakes to get them all down, to get that perfect blend. Oopsie. I like them kind of crispy too, but not too black or brown, because the more crispy and fresh and yummy and yummy. Oh, I love pancakes. My dad used to make pancakes on the weekends. He would make well, my dad was more of the pancakes and dropped egg on toast and egg McMuffin style, before egg McMuffins were big at McDonald's. My mom would make crepe Suzettes, or blintzes is another name, where you put the cream cheese in with the strawberry or the blueberry. They were sweet, but they were good. I also got a mosquito bite on my chest the other day doing yard work. With the nicer weather also comes the skeeters. Mosquitoes arrive. Alright, need a plate. This is done. I love pancakes. pancakes too. Dankeschön, darling, Dankeschön. I love you in the morning and the night. Dankeschön, thank you for being you. Oh. Hallelujah. So when they get that nice golden brown and you see the top has kind of cooked dry on the top, that's usually the flipping point. Oh, I got another thing. So I have this new drink that I absolutely am like in love with that I make myself. I make fresh almond milk, and then I've been making the coffee kombucha, which is my big thing right now. It's almost there. And so what I've been doing is making up this concoction of coffee kombucha with chicory and chaga mushroom and a bunch of adaptogen herbs, and like it's just the bomb diggity. There's nettle root powder in here. There's horsetail powder, which is good for skin and nails and teeth and bones, the collagen. So delicious. There's chocolate in here, of course, because you know chocolate always makes us happy, right? Good happy hormones. Alrighty. I think we got a potential flipping moment. I'll show you real quick. So there's the blueberries. Blueberries. Not everybody's really a flipper. I'm working on it. It's been a while. At least a good couple weeks since I made pancakes. Ooh, they look so pretty. Do you have any pancake memories? Because I have a pancake and blueberry memory from when I was, let's see, 8th grade, 1988, I think it was. My dad took me to Disney World. I was going to school here, so I was in the 8th grade. My dad and I went to Disney World. I had white kids sneakers on. Back in those days, jams were popular. You know, those basically pedal pushers or Capri style pants with jams had all these different prints and colors on them. And I think I had a white shirt on. And my hair was, you know, always perfectly done. We went to, I think, Denny's or something, or IHOP, and I had blueberry pancakes. And I think I had too much sugar, because when we got through the gate, the first thing that happened was I was projectile vomit blueberry pancakes. And I was trying not to get them on my white kids, so all over the floor, all over the ground, and lots of little purple spots on my brand new white kids. I was not a happy camper. I was like, ah. That's one of my pancake memories. Kind of a silly thing to remember. So, see when it starts moving on the, ooh, hello. I'm okay, nothing wrong. Ooh, pretty, pretty. Mostly that noise is from the blueberries doing their little dance. It's the ninja to the rescue. You heard the noise, didn't you?
They smell really good.
I know. They're just for you.
We could do maple syrup.
We got coconut yogurt in there too. Probably not that. That would be better with the... I'm gonna braid this. I'm gonna put little ponytails in it. I'm gonna put beads in it. It is so soft, y'all. It feels so good when he nuzzles in my neck. I love, love, love this beard. This is so sexy. He's a beautiful man. He's very sexy. I like it. I like it a lot.
Ho 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 ho! Yeah. I'm hungry.
You know that's when they make their appearance the most. When the hunger strikes. Oh yeah, these are pretty. You want to try the first batch? Alright, so the next. Look at how pretty those are. They're nice and hot, of course, but look at that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, with the blueberries? That is really, really good. I'm going to add a little bit more coconut oil. Not a lot. I really don't think it needs a lot when it has this ceramic coating. It's actually a lot easier to work with. But you want to make sure, this is the key for me that I found, it's always about the heat of the pan, because you can have it too hot and burn whatever it is you're working on, and other times it's like, well, that didn't work out so well. I didn't have it hot enough. I've had that happen a few times myself. Whoop. I touched my pinky and it went pop. I don't know where that piece went, but hopefully it's still in the pot. These are pretty plump pancake blueberries too, which is really rad because they're so thick and plump that we get a nice, oops. It's like a nice little mountains in the pancakes. These are better, bigger sizes. Come and get them. Oh my gosh, they're good just without. You don't even need. They start to lose the crispiness though, if they sit on the plate too long.
Yummy. Yummy. Did you give them a little what action? Yeah. You already tried?
I had a blueberry with a little bit on it.
You don't really eat this stuff.
I do sometimes. Hot.
Oh wow, cool.
Doesn't even need the. I know, they're perfect. The blueberries like give it the perfect amount of sweet.
That's awesome. Did you talk about your relationship thing today?
Oh yeah, Authentic Relationships that starts on Friday.
Very cool.
So we have a 3-day weekend this weekend, and then we'll have a second 3-day weekend in May. And then over the next 6 months, we are in groups so that we talk about the different modules, the chapters that we go through, because there's 6 of them. And so we all kind of work through this material. And, you know, anytime you come together in collective, in community, you uplift one another. You hold space for one another. I mean, typically you're going to be drawn to somebody, and you're either going to work together to help elevate one another, or you're both going to walk away with learned experiences. There's never a doubt there. But sometimes it's a wake me up, and sometimes it's a kick my butt type of relationship. Oh yeah, these are perfect.
Ho ho ho. Yeah. These are delicious.
Aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Better than regular pancakes, and not with all the soft sauce.
Yeah, especially because like regular pancakes give you grain brain.
A normal ninja would
and
probably
wheat
want some syrup on these, but these are like very, very good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Duck lips.
You have anything else to share? You're gonna wrap it up.
Oh, I'll finish off these pancakes. Yeah.
Okay. About
That
5
noise.
minutes. About 5 minutes.
Yeah, maybe not even that.
Hey y'all, join our group. We had to remove 3,500 to 4,000 members. They were fake accounts, they were trolls, they were breaking the rules, or they're MLM. So we had 50,000, now we're down to 48, but it's about ready to pop. Beautiful Lana's been helping me. And so if you haven't joined our group, RADiculously RawThentic, please do. Go tell us a story and go play, y'all. What?
What? Chicken butt.
Oh, wait, here's plate. Thank you, honey.
You're very welcome, darling.
Yeah!
So yeah, that's the gist of my weekend is going to be spent working on my relationship. Again, like I said, it all starts with ourselves. A lot of times when I went to Date with Destiny with Anthony Robbins in 2008, I knew then it was about the relationship with myself because I was working on me. I had decided I'm not going to stay in toxic, unhealthy relationships because it was clear that the relationships I had with others was a reflection of the relationship I had with myself. And I know my mind is already hypercritical of myself, that I had to work on being kinder to my mind, in my mind, so that I could be kinder with everyone else around me. And it is life-changing when you decide to work on you, to be kinder to you. That extends out to everyone around you. It literally radiates from your core being out to those around you. People want some of that. You've heard me talk about when you got that self-love, you radiate out. And when people see that inspiration within you shining out, you're going to be drawn by tons of people. They're going to come to you like moths to the flame because you're shining bright. You're radiating exactly what it is they want, and you're giving them permission to witness in you is really a huge and direct reflection of themselves. So you're giving people permission to be them by you being you. You be you is the only way you can be true. True to you, true to me, and everyone else you see. Oh, did you get the steam action too? Looky. Oh, that's really hot. That's yummy. So, in conclusion of today's episode, with these delicious, beautiful flapjack pancake blueberries, yummy, gonna be in the tummy. You know, actually, these are going to the ninja, and he's gonna be loving up on these because he knows how much I love him and put so much love in everything I do. And just so you all know, I keep you in my heart. I love you just as much. And that the more I'm working on me, I know it's radiating out for y'all. So that's one thing I'm extremely grateful for. I'm grateful for each and every one of you that shows up, that shares pieces of yourself, and I accept every piece of you because you be you. I love you too. A little bit of a love spin. He calls it a bunny hop. Boom. Boom!
It's a little cringy. Here, let me do this one last time. I burn about 800 calories every time I do this. You ready? Watch out, honey. Give me a little space.
Oh.
No, watch out. You ready?
Uh-oh, he's got the wave action going.
Third eye.
Oh, I got a little joke on that. I told him that my brown eye is spotting his third eye. But anyway, that's just our little joke at home. So, get your silly on. Enjoy this beautiful Wednesday. Get out in nature. And you shine your radiance.